Well, hi everybody, thanks for joining us on Logistics Executive TV. We're here at the absolute center of conferences for the Middle East, here at the World Trade Center in Dubai. And I'm joined today by one of the senior executives from ASYAD, the jewel in the crown of the Omani logistics infrastructure, Tom Anneberg, Head of Product for ASYAD. Tom,
nice to see you.
Thanks for joining us. So we've known each other for many years, and as I say, you're VP of Product for ASYAD.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about ASYAD, and what do you think the differentiators are about the organisation being right in the middle of this region here in Oman?
So for me, ASYAD was a very interesting company when I joined. I've been with some of the big logistics companies, Maersk and Yusen and PSA, etc. All very, very well-established companies throughout many years. And ASYAD is a newcomer. For me, it's a new kid on the block. Been around since 2016, been very much building up their businesses, and for the last 2 to 3 years, we've really seen a steep progress in what we're doing, not only from a shipment side, but also from the logistics side. Started off with our express business, moving into freight forwarding, and today we are here at Breakbulk because we're now moving into project logistics as well. So a very, very interesting company to work with. A lot of quick decisions to make, so make us very agile and can move up the chain in a fast way. And of course, Middle East is booming at the moment as we speak.
Sure as hell is. There's no question about that. And of course, one of the unique things about ASYAD, having some knowledge and being in and out of Oman myself over the last 12, 15 years or so, is the combination of all of the different logistics assets in the country being combined with the government's direction and then a lot of private and public sector involvement to have this whole end-to-end supply of different facilities and different opportunities.
From a person coming from a logistics background, this is like getting into a candy store, right? We have a company that owns assets, vessels, being VLCCs until container vessels, and we look at the logistics side, so combining our container vessels with our logistics, with our ports operation, etc. So really being able to offer this end-to-end logistics within one logo. There are not many companies out there that are doing that, right? Yeah. We have the Danes that is transforming into a single company, while ASYAD is saying we are a single company, we will still keep the assets a bit aside, but from a product point of view, it's like being a candy store. I can pick and choose from all our assets and build solutions for our customers.
And of course, geographically, you folks have got an enormous advantage. Yeah. You're right across the Indian Ocean, back into the Gulf of Arabia. It's quite a differentiator from a lot of organisations and countries which are more landlocked.
Yeah. So one of the things that I also saw when I came to Oman is that if you compare us to the other ports in the region, Oman has been very focused on establishing itself as a country. We know if you know the history of Oman, there's been some things going on, but I feel that the next coming 5 years is where Oman will get themselves on the map. We have 3 fantastic ports. We have Salalah in the south, fully utilized as a transshipment port, just at the end of Red Sea. Maybe not the best place in the world right now, but we are seeing a lot of Africa trade coming through Salalah. While we have SOHAR up in the north, that is our gateway port into Oman, but also a big exit point for some of the products that we do deliver to the world. And then of course, the most interesting one, the new kid on the block, as I also say, is that it's Duqm port. And Duqm is slowly but surely taking off. And I strongly believe, and that may be something that is coming up, with the green hydrogen is gonna
that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about, because as I've heard that you are heading up the whole project around green hydrogen. So, and I know very little about green hydrogen at this stage. So maybe you can give us a bit of a heads up about what that's all about and where you are on that journey.
So it started for me about 2.5 years ago when the whole green hydrogen journey for Oman started. It was announced that we wanted to be one of the biggest producers of green hydrogen in the world. And I sat with a colleague and we were talking about this green hydrogen, and everybody was up and happy about how much we're going to produce. And I said, well, in order to produce something, we need to build the sites that produce the green hydrogen. So we started our focus, what we call the pre-production phase, because we are set to, if everything goes well, and I call it worst case scenario, because logistically that is the challenge, we will look at 2,000 windmills that is going to be imported, 40 million solar panels, a whole common infrastructure in pipes, ammonia conversion plants, etc., etc. That all has to come in a time period of about 2.5 to 3 years.
Yep.
And from a logistics point of view, I love that, right? It's what I'm born for, but the country itself is up for a big challenge.
So you mentioned the wind power, and of course, unless folks have actually flown over or driven through, and I've done both, but as you fly over Oman to go from, say, in the Gulf, whether it's Saudi or UAE, to go where I often go to Australia or New Zealand or to Asia, there are these massive, massive mountain ranges.
Yes.
And of course, that's got to be a huge advantage for wind power.
Absolutely. So Oman is located, so all the studies that have been made, so solar power and wind power that we need for producing green hydrogen is optimum in Oman.
Right.
So optimum that one of the logistic challenges that we have is that it's the latest generation of windmills that we're going to bring in, blades up to 100 meters, right? So the logistics challenge in getting them from the port up into the interior where we're going to build the farm, it's going to be a transport of more than 500 kilometers sometimes, right? And that is, and when you talk to people and they don't understand that, we're going to run convoys that are more than 1 kilometer long.
Brilliant.
Right?
Yeah, so it's enormous.
Yeah.
Hey, before we wrap up, I always like to ask our guests to give some input and an insight, maybe 1 or 2 things for folks who are outside of the industry looking to come inside logistics, whether it's not necessarily with ASYAD Oman, but to come into the logistics industry for folks who are looking to make it their home. What would be your explanation of what they could expect by coming into a logistics industry?
I would tend to say don't do it, but no, joke aside. No, I've been in this industry for 33 years, and we're moving global commerce. It sounds very cliche, but that's what you do. Wherever you are, whatever you do, the water bottle that we're having here, it's all done by logistic people. Yep. It's such a versatile industry. You can't imagine what it is. So I'm extremely passionate about logistics. And I say, if you don't know what to do, but you feel that you want to make a difference in the life of somebody else, join a logistics company, be part of this world. That's what I love.
And never a dull moment.
Never.
Okay. Tom Anneberg, VP Product
Thank you.
ASYAD.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to staying in touch.
My pleasure.
And thanks everybody for joining us on Logistics Executive TV.